Welcome, listeners, to Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour, hosted by Rene Bravo and Bryan Quevedo. If you are a new listener of the show, please follow us on our socials on Instagram at Keepin' With The Nerds and Twitter at Keepin' With Nerd. Our podcasts are recorded in Whittier, California, and are posted on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts every Wednesday at 11:30. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
But you're doing it now.
I'm doing it now.
There you go. I think my mic needs a little more volume.
Yeah, it does. There it goes. Wait, that was weird. Hold on. I might have to edit this out.
Restart it.
Okay. Well, now it sounds better. That was weird. That was like a weird. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it was muffled.
Yeah. It was weird. Hold on. Go
You're still recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's fine.
What do you mean it's fine?
It's fine.
That means I actually have to edit.
You don't have to edit. Just calm down.
I mean, I like editing. There's nothing wrong with that.
But you don't usually edit when it comes to these podcasts.
Yeah, it's just like I know where to find the cuts to do the intros and outros and add the music, and it takes me like no more than like 10 minutes.
Don't say that.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. We do this all live on the spot.
Don't say that. No, don't say it's always hard work to put these shows together.
Oh, my God. It's so stressful. Oh, my God. Oh, it's so difficult. Renee, we made it through 2020. We're Prestige 1.
Did you yell out Jumanji?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man.
I didn't.
I kind of did.
So,
I did.
Your neighbors are probably like, what the hell's going on with this guy? No, I was too. So for New Year's, it was just my fiance, my mom, and my brother. And we were just like, we had a small little dinner and stuff like that. And they made, because I bought the Binging with Babish cookbook.
I saw that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I showed you the elf spaghetti thing that was in there. I made corn balls from Arrested Development using his recipe. They were pretty good. So I made that, and I made some cookies from scratch as well. But I wanted to start the new year in the apartment like clean and refreshed.
Yeah.
So I took out the trash and cleaned up Joey's, our dog's, little area.
Does he have an area to poop?
Yeah, he's got an area.
What is this? Just like that one of those diaper mat things?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got his. Well, he thinks he has a spot, and then he's just being a rebel these last couple of days. But I cleaned it out, and then I was like, okay, give me a time. He's like, oh, it's 11:55. So I ran out of the trash can. I threw it out there. I come back. I'm like out of breath and stuff. I take out the champagne, and it's like, oh, you got 30 seconds. Right at midnight, I popped it. That was it. Just to celebrate. I didn't yell Jumanji or anything. It was too overwhelming. It was too much. But I did check the calendar, though, to see if we actually made it through 2021.
Right? Yeah.
Like, a little part of me was scared.
I was kind of scared an asteroid was going to fall. Like, I thought that was going to be like the final FU.
Like an asteroid? You really think an asteroid?
I was thinking an asteroid or a meteorite or a nuclear fallout. Anything could have happened.
Something like at the stroke of midnight.
We already had a pandemic, man. I mean, at this point,
like what's gonna happen?
Yeah, zombies. I don't know. Maybe like the vaccine of certain people that got the vaccine will kick in and then become zombies.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
I have the vaccine. I had it. Well, it was offered to me free because I work at a hospital.
Yeah, you work at a hospital.
Yeah,
how do you feel?
Remember,
if you start getting bitey around me, I'm blowing.
Just blow my head up. I give you permission.
For a can of corn, all right?
Just do it. That's fine. I'm not gonna. I've watched enough of these flicks to know that if something goes wrong, I'm not gonna be like, "Don't do it. No, kill me."
No, I'm gonna get the vaccine when it's obviously more easier to become available.
Yeah,
that's when I'll get the vaccine. Right now, I'm trying to do the same thing: keep masks, social distancing, wash my hands, and stuff like that.
I've not to put down people that have to constantly remind others because the world needs to constantly be reminded.
We do,
but I will say this:
people are ignorant.
Yes. Thank you, Tom Cruise.
I made a look.
But I will say that I think that people who constantly post the day of New Year's Eve or the day before New Year's Eve, that it's like, remember, guys, 2021 doesn't mean the pandemic's gone. I don't think there are enough stupid people to have to tell that to.
You'd be shot.
Let me believe. Let me believe.
No, that's the thing. I mean, I do believe in that too. Like, obviously, I think the thing is that early on, people expected it.
Yeah.
It was gonna end by the end of the year. But honestly, with everything that's going on and people not, taking things seriously, the reason of that is now it's extending, it's bleeding over to 2021.
Yeah.
But now we are closer. I think we are getting closer to the end of it. But
let's just hope.
Yes.
Yes, let's hope.
Yeah. I do believe, if anything, if I had to put a stamp on it, by the end of this year, things would be much better.
Under controlled.
Yes.
Is the hope.
Things will be lightened up. It won't be done. Things will get better by the end of this year. And we all have to consider that.
One can hope that 2021 brings nothing but good things.
Yes.
I think 2020, look, I'll put it this way. Start of 2020, we almost had World War III. You woke up, and that was the first thing you saw on all your socials.
Yes.
Was massive, problems in the Middle East, I think. I don't know if it was the Middle East or something, but was it Korea? I don't know. But we had, the whole joke about it was that World War III was going to be started because of Trump, right? We woke up January 1st, and we had, knock on wood, nothing wrong. Yeah, exactly. As far as we know, you and I know, nothing was announced. So we can only hope that 2021 brings nothing but good fortune, good health, and better things to come. Right? That's it. That's all we can hope for.
Let's move on.
On a lighter note, we are back.
We are back, and we have such a good show for you guys today.
Oh, man. Did you miss recording?
I did. Why is it when we just take a week off from recording, not posting, but recording, we take so whenever a holiday comes up, guys, we do the little studio magic where we double up on our episodes, so that way we can have the holidays off and still post for you guys. So, when New Year's or Christmas came around, we made sure that we doubled recorded and stuff. So that's why the Die Hard episode and the Mandalorian annual was everything. And we had to do a commentary track on top of that.
Yeah,
so
we were busy.
Things. We were busy.
So for the two of us, we were pretty busy.
Yeah. So we were, so this past week we didn't record anything, and it just felt super long since me and Bryan saw each other.
It felt, I wouldn't say that it felt like, for me, it didn't feel long. It just felt a little bit empty. Like I missed it. I think I missed having the opportunity to get together and just talk about this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned it in previous issues where it's I don't think we want to sell the audience nerd news, because you can find it anywhere.
You can find it anywhere. If anything, the one thing that we want to do is just tell you guys our thoughts. And again, this is a show basically about our opinions,
our personalities. We want you guys to know us, and we want to interact with you guys. And we do. Yeah. We definitely do interact with a lot of our listeners as well. And we want to, hear what you guys have to say regarding certain things about stuff. And, Eric actually reached out to me, I think, as of recording this episode, this last week. Shout out to him.
He messaged you?
He messaged me,
Okay.
He messaged me because he, I don't know. Okay. I'm kind of thankful. I know we got the show to get to, but I'll say this.
That's fine.
I'm kind of thankful that a lot of video game developers are reaching out and using Greek mythology in their games. We had Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed Odyssey not that long ago. Take hold of that. Norse mythology is now being used more with Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Then you had the new but old but new God of War, and then God of War Ragnarok, I think, is the new one that's going to come out. Yeah, so he reached out to me. He's like, "Oh, I got a real cool game that you want to try, that you might want to try," which was Phoenix Rising.
I heard about that.
Yeah. So I was laughing because he wasn't the first one to tell me about this. It was someone else at work, and I was already getting annoyed of him because he was like, "Oh, you should definitely try it. It's like Breath of the Wild and Assassin's Creed had a kid." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the reason I don't want to try it."
This was your coworker.
This is my coworker.
Okay, I had to clarify. I don't want to.
No, not Eric. No.
Eric's like,
No. I told him, I'm like, yeah, someone else recommended this to me, and I chose not to pay attention to it because he was underselling it to me, it was like a stupid way to sell it.
To be honest, there are people in my life when they do that, and I tune them out.
Yeah, because
it's they either tell you something every day, and you're kind of like, okay, fine,
yeah.
So there's those. So I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
but when you have someone that you always you talk to on a regular basis and they tell you their perspective on it and stuff like that, that makes you interested as well too.
And Eric did just that. He
Yeah.
hit me where it was interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, you have like, it's really like, they really respectfully input like Greek mythology in there, and they like use Zeus and I think it was Hephaestus or something like that. They go like through a back and forth and like they tell you that they narrate the story
into that.
Oh yeah. But I recently bought, because of the Steam Winter Sale, Hades. And Hades is good. Oh my god. It actually, a little short story.
Yeah.
The game director is actually using a small play that the Greeks, I forget who the author was, but it tells the story of Zagreus, I think his name is, or Zagreus, who's the son of Hades. And he only appears in Greek mythology in one play, which is why no one has ever heard of him.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to escape in Hades. He's trying to escape the underworld to go and live on Mount Olympus with the rest of the gods, but it's impossible because no one escapes the underworld. So they use the gods in a way by giving him blessings in forms of like boons that help him. So like dash is increased, or like what was it, like his weapon or his specials are increased damage. And then you have the reference a lot of different things. So like Nyx, which is the like, I guess like knight basically. Cerberus is the family dog. You have Achilles there, who's the forgotten hero. You fight Megra as the first boss. You fight a Hydra, and then I'm almost through stage 3, but that one was kind of like BS. It's it's not these. I think it might be Theseus and the Minos and the Minotaur. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. And if it's only on the Switch and it's only on PC.
Okay.
So maybe hopefully within a couple months they release it on Xbox and PlayStation. Okay. If you get your PlayStation 5 soon, I recommend it.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know what's funny? Funny you mentioned that. A little thing. I constantly going online to be like, when there's going to be a restock.
Just wait. Don't even worry.
Like, I just want to get it at this point. Just to get a console.
Just to get it.
I miss playing video games. Honestly,
I understand.
But on that note, we're hitting 10 minutes into the podcast now.
Nothing new from last year,
and
Rene.
haven't done the intro yet. So let's get on to the intro and we'll get on to the show.
Are you ready to give me the 100% that you brought last week or 2 weeks ago?
First issue of the year. So let's see if I can do this.
Let's do it. Give me the best one, Rene. Hit it.
Hello, citizens. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. Come to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, aiming to be Whittier's #1 podcast of all things nerdy. I'm your host, Rene.
And this is Bryan.
And welcome to the show, everyone.
Woo! 2021, baby!
Yes.
This is the year we make it. We get an office this year.
We get an actual spot to do everything. That's going to be something.
We get an office. We get an editor. We start a Patreon. Let's do it.
We sell out.
The year of sponsorships. Game Fuel, G Fuel, Bang, Monster. Who is it? Who wants to sponsor us?
Who wants us? Anyone, please take us. We'll take anything. We'll do anything.
We'll sell out, guys. What a show what kind of show do we have for our audience today, Rene?
This is going to be basically a review, or not review, just our thoughts on the past movies that were available on Christmas Day.
Oh, what movies were that?
That was both Wonder Woman 1984, available on HBO Max, also in theaters as well too.
Streaming through January 24th.
Yes, all the way until the end of this month. And Soul on Disney Plus, which it was not a Disney Plus exclusive buy-in plus pass or something.
Yeah, premium pass or whatever.
Premium pass holder. Yeah. I think honestly, with the, how Mulan went, and then how no one was really hyped for Soul per se. Mm-hmm. You were, though, you told me earlier.
Yes. So
you were a little bit more excited than other people were.
So we talked about this. Yeah. I know we say we don't plan our episodes or issues, but we kind of like prep each other in a way.
We have a pre-conversation.
Yes.
And so that way we're not bombarded by our thoughts. Wait, what?
We get all of our how can I say?
Initial thoughts.
Sure, yeah. We get our initial thoughts out of the way.
Unfiltered.
Chairs are thrown.
Yeah.
Rene got thrown out the window. Then I got dragged into this, and he threw me into the streets. No, so we get our initial thoughts out, and we kind of had this idea where we wanted to discuss Soul and Wonder Woman 1984, and we want to try to convince each other of why we think
the other one was better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because funny enough, in this issue, what a way to start it, by the way. In this issue, you liked one movie more than the other, and
Yes.
I liked the opposite movie more than the other.
Which was great, actually. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, because I think all the other issues where we've talked about this, we've kind of mutually agreed, or I've had to play devil's advocate to try to make something interesting happen. Yeah. Which, by the way, friend of the show, Rebel, I don't know if I'm hoping
What?
he didn't think that we had someone else in the studio.
Oh, that was so funny.
I really, because now I feel bad because he never brought it up again.
I think he knew that. Okay, so it's either one or two. Okay, so guys, sorry, this is an inside conversation, and we shouldn't be doing this. But the thing is that okay, so every time we post a new episode, friend of the show Rebel always and loves to message us when he listens to his version of the podcast when he's doing whatever he is.
By the way, reach out to us if you guys are listening. Reach out to us. We
He's
will
doing
respond.
what you guys were telling me to do. Reach out to us and talk to us about what you guys think of the show or what you thought was better, or if you guys disagree. We also want to hear that too as well.
Yes.
And Rebel takes full advantage of that. And but I love it. It's great. So if you guys don't remember, on the last episode, we had a court adjourned for Die Hard to see if it was labeled as a Christmas movie or not. And we had a third party here constantly telling us his thoughts and stuff like that. If you guys didn't pick it up, it was just Bryan yelling away, going like this away from the mic and stuff.
Actually, Andy kind of thought that it was like a third person.
It was?
She thought, like, she didn't think she knew it was me.
Okay, but the way you did it was pretty good. I think that's why as well too. You did it really good. I was re-listening to it, and it didn't sound like you were just like talking like this. And you're like, but what do you guys think? Because you were saying it not into the mics this way. You were saying it outward, so it sounds like it's someone outside of the mic.
Exactly. Yeah.
So constantly, friend of the show Rebel is like, who was the third person?
You're writing guess over or something like that?
Yeah, so I think he was more hurt that it wasn't him if we had a guess. But
it's studio magic,
and
man.
then Bryan didn't tell him right away. You were being an asshole and not telling him right away.
Because I didn't know. I was confused. I'm like, when did we bring a guest in?
Yeah.
And I completely forgot that we did that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I was okay. So that whole time I'm like, Bryan's a fucking dick. He's just nuts. He's just stringing him along. But but I think it was either maybe Rebel knew and was just playing around, and you didn't take the bait.
okay, I was like,
So it's one of the two things.
Okay.
I think it's either
he'll clarify it.
Yeah, he'll clarify it. Watch, he's gonna message us right now.
Yeah, exactly. He'll clarify it.
So it was just funny because Rebel was like, "Who is the person?" And Bryan's like, "What?" And it's like, "Who was talking?"
Who was booing you guys?
Yeah, it was booing you guys. He goes, "No one was there. We just had we were just doing our little court thing, and someone decided to talk." He goes, "So when'd you guys do this?" And so that's why I was like, "Why is Bryan just keep it going?"
Because it's acting. It's method acting. Come on, you heard my Mickey voice, right? Oh wait, hold up.
Sorry. What was that?
You guys talking about me? Oh shit.
Oh god, he's back.
No.
We're just saying that someone was admiring you while you were here.
Can I come in?
No.
I think he's gone.
He's gone. I think. All right.
I'm still here, guys. Okay, well, stay out there, please.
Yeah, we're trying to do a show. You're cutting into our time right now.
Please. We might invite you later.
Yeah.
Depends on how people like you. Because you kind of are an asshole.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're already like 20 minutes
20
in.
minutes in out of an hour, and we're hitting we haven't even talked about what we want to talk about.
So let's dive into into these topics. So, as you said, you had Soul and Wonder Woman 84 release on Christmas Day. Now, I want to start off by asking you this question.
Yes.
Your expectations for Soul, did they exist or not?
No, I had low expectations for it. For me, what gets me hyped is a trailer for the movie and stuff. So when the trailer for Soul came out, I watched it obviously, but I wasn't sold by it. I was like, okay. I thought of it was gonna be like another Pixar movie where it was like The Good Dinosaur, where it was liked but it wasn't loved. You know, so that's how I took it. So that's how I thought before I saw Soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you have expectations for Wonder Woman?
I had very high expectations for Wonder Woman because the trailer again made it really look cool, and I was like, okay, cool, this is gonna be awesome. You know, we're gonna see some more Wonder Woman stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
I was hyped.
Opposite for me.
Yes.
I had all the expectations for Soul.
Yeah.
And no expectations for Wonder Woman. Now, disclaimer before we move on and talk about what we think of each movie individually. I had not seen any of the Wonder Woman movies until maybe about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you binged it. You binged all those movies. Yeah.
Yes. So I watched Wonder Woman, and then a week later watched Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah.
Because I think I watched it after Christmas or something like that. Or yeah, after Christmas I watched it. And then I didn't watch it until literally today, as of the day of recording. I watched 84. So I think that's probably why my thoughts are going to be the way they are. Because, and we talked about this in our initial conversations, if I would have watched this Wonder Woman when it came out, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much as I liked it now. And that was probably just because I had the bad taste of Snyder, fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
So I think for me personally, it was a good idea to watch the movies now.
Yeah.
Especially with all this hype about 84,
which
eventually died down into what is more commonly a okay movie for most people. Do you want to talk about Soul first? I think that might be a shorter topic.
That would be a shorter topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, Rene, and give us your initial thoughts of Disney Pixar's Soul. Going into it, you said you had all the you had no expectations
for this movie.
Is there a reason why?
So the reasoning for that was that when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh, okay, so it's a man that, moves on and goes into the other world and stuff like that. But then I was more of afraid that that's where it was all going to take place, was the afterlife. Because I was like, there's not much to do, and it's usually a Pixar movie is like 2 hours long and stuff like that. And I'm like, so what are they going to show or tell us about Pixar's version of the afterlife and stuff like that? There's not much to go by, which that's true. That's how this movie was. That's the thing. There wasn't a lot to go by, but they gave us their version of it, how things work and stuff like that. But when I watched the movie and saw how they did it, and how they planned the movie originally and stuff like that, I was really surprised and really I loved it. The humor was so great. I loved how dark the humor was as well too. I'll say this. Hold on. So one of the things that automatically got me was when what's his name? 22 was right. 22. Which, again, I didn't know Jamie Foxx was doing the voice of the main character, and Tina Fey was doing the voice.
Love Tina Fey.
And I love Tina Fey. So, again, I was watching it, and when they showed 22's past mentors, they showed Marie Antoinette. Now, if you guys don't know Marie Antoinette, she's a famous English figure, royalty back in the day and stuff like that. But the thing was that she met her demise by being beheaded.
That's right. Yes, Andy pointed that out.
They showed her talking to 22, and it's just a head.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, thank you. And then another one was when, spoilers, obviously, guys, spoilers. But when, what's his name? Floyd? It was Floyd, right? The main character's name?
I believe so.
It was Floyd. I don't want to say it wrong. Damn it. Hold on. But when his character and 22 were falling into Earth, and what's his name? So then when Jamie Foxx's character falls into Joe, that's his name.
Joe is the main character.
Yeah, Joe's the main character. The school teacher, the music school teacher. So when Joe falls into the cat's body, and he's like, wait, I fell into the cat.
Yes.
I fell into the cat. He goes, wait, so where's the cat at?
And it's just
going up the escalator. And I was laughing so hard because everyone else like, okay, so I watched it with my girlfriend, and then her brother, and then his girlfriend on top of that too, his fiance, I should say. We were watching it in their room together. They were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yes!" I was like, that's how you do humor for me, at least, and I loved that.
No,
I was cracking up.
I was on the same boat because Andy had the same reaction. She's like, I was like, "Oh my god!" She started laughing and got sad. But in my head, I'm just like, "No, that's exactly what you need to do." Are we just going to ignore the fact that the soul was pushed out of the cat's body and just left there? No, it died.
It died.
But then the part that kind of took me out of it was that when Joe gets back in his body after leaving 22, the cat's still alive.
Yeah, no,
but
the cat goes back,
Yeah, my bad. That's my phone.
That's
Zordon's
fine.
calling.
We gotta go, guys.
No, but the cat's still alive. But in my head, I was like kind of okay with it because it's implying that the cat has 9 lives, I guess.
Yes, that's why it's a cat, and I think that's why they got away with it.
Sure, they got away with it. I wanted to mention that I just found it funny that in the description, they worded in a way like Soul in itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't explain Soul, honestly,
no,
without
you
giving
can't.
it away.
Yeah.
And I think that's why the marketing for it, that's why they had to do the trailer as it is without giving it away.
Yes.
And it undersold it for me, but I end up loving it even more.
Okay. So the description for me is what got me because it's like, how do you... It's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
You don't want to say that the dude died.
Yes, they can.
They can.
I mean, every Disney movie starts off with a murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
but you don't...
death. Lion King.
But to
Fox
start
the
an
Hound.
adventure with death?
Bambi.
Oh, Bambi's messed up. Marlin's mother and Nemo. Or, excuse me, Nemo's
Finding
mother
Nemo,
and Marvin's wife, excuse me, in Nemo. But this is the description.
Toy Story, because we had to assume Andy's dad died or something because he's not.
That's never implied, but sure.
But
This is the description. It says, "What is it that makes you you?" Pixar Animation Studios' all-new feature film Soul introduces Joe Gardner, voiced of Jamie Foxx, a middle school band teacher who gets the chance of a lifetime to play at the best jazz club in town. But one small misstep takes him from the streets of New York to the great before, a fantastical place where new souls get their personalities.
You can't say heaven either. They can't say heaven either.
Quirks and interests before they go down. And I literally read that description, and I'm like, do we really want to go into this saying that it was a small misstep?
Well, he misstepped.
He did misstep.
The manhole.
But it's like,
and died.
Yes, but it's like that's a very light way of putting it.
It is.
That
it's
he
the light
died.
way to start off. The main character, the first thing that happens to him is he falls into a manhole and dies. So that's why, again, like but the one thing again for the movie I wasn't excited for is that I was hoping that Disney and or Pixar wasn't gonna push the whole afterlife thing.
They didn't.
They did a great job. I even loved Terry. What again? Another messed up joke in Soul was that Terry was going through the filing cabinets, right, of all the names, and he said, "There's a lot of Garcias here," and I was laughing so hard.
Why?
Because
Garcia is such a common.
It's a common name. It's a common last name. Did that go over your head, dude?
I did.
He's like, he goes, "Man, there's a lot of Garcias here." And I was laughing so hard.
Pixar knows how to make these jokes
That's the
work.
thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this movie. They took those jokes that would normally be a problem with some people, but did it in a way that was so clever that you had to respect it. That's the thing. You had to love it. And it was so great because they did it in a smart way.
Okay. All right.
That's why I like Soul so much.
Okay. Now, is there anything else you want to add before I interject and come in with my...
My brother is a terrible bitch. I think, again, the one thing I will say is that the movie was great. I loved that Joe was basically looking at his life outside to see how he is with people and stuff, and how he treats people, or how he's portrayed through other people's eyes as well too. And that was a really interesting thing an interesting way for people for Pixar to telling you how to look at yourself outside and how you perceive people and how life perceives you and stuff like that, and how treasure and how you impact people in life as well too. One in particular was the student that came to his house and stuff, and he saw how driven she was and stuff like that. And 22 saw that as well too, and it was really great. I was expecting to cry, honestly, by this movie, but it didn't, and that's what a little disappointed at me as well. Mostly Pixar movies have that one moment that makes you cry, and I think that they learned not to do that because of Coco.
F Coco.
See, that's the thing.
No, we don't talk about Coco.
Coco reaches to us that one scene when he's singing to great grandma.
Did I ever tell you that? So I can't watch. There's a Pixar movie, Onward, that I can't watch, and I won't ever watch. I cannot.
Yeah.
I have not, and I will not watch it. And
I don't. Well, I mean, I know that you haven't watched it yet, but I didn't know you will not watch it.
I cannot because my fiance said that it reminded her too much of me and my personality, but in the characters, and it's about supposedly finding the dad to talk to him one more time.
Yeah.
So that's why I won't watch it. Now, Coco is another movie that I cannot watch. And I know, I get what you mean. And it's going to go into my explanation as to why I think Soul was a good movie, but not, for me at least, the
best
great movie.
Yeah. Your favorite out of the two, if anything. Yeah.
Coco is it was the movie that I went to go in wanting to love and came out destroyed. Because my mom, I think that my fiance Andy was very surprised to hear that my mom and I had the same reasons just to not watching Coco ever again. It was when we found out that the great uncle or whoever it is, his name is Hector, which was my dad's name. And so when we found out that when that was like made apparent, that's when it hit me the most. It wasn't Coco dying.
Yeah.
It wasn't her singing the song. It was the fact that he was going to be forgotten and his name was Hector. And so that's why I can never watch Coco again.
It wasn't a it was a Pixar movie, but it wasn't the long one. It was the short. It was the one for Incredibles 2, Bao.
Oh, okay.
So
thank you.
I saw Bao legitly a year after my mom passed away.
Yeah.
And me and my girlfriend went to go see Incredibles 2, and then after we saw Incredibles, right before it was, obviously we went to see Incredibles, they showed Bao right in front of Incredibles, and oh man, that destroyed me.
And I
but
completely understand.
The thing is though, is that I like movies or shows or media that makes me feel that way. Because it resonates with me and stuff like that. I don't mind feeling that way. That's something that reminds me of my mom, or that will make me think about it as well too, because for me it just shows that I can still keep her alive, and even thinking about her makes me feel that it still hurts.
Yes.
And I like that. I like that I know that I have that feeling.
And then it's not gone.
Yeah. It's not gone.
Now, I'm going to talk about, here's my New Year's, not resolution, but a goal. It's to try not to piss. New Year's goal. I'm going to try my hardest this year not to piss people off with the things that I say. Might have already failed that.
Dude, like Soul.
But I'm going to try by saying this. Soul was, in my opinion, for me at least, was a good movie, but not a great movie. And the reason why is because when I came into Soul, I had the expectations of a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And I came out of it with the feeling that this was more of a Pixar short than a Pixar movie.
That's okay. I see what you mean.
So to me, a Pixar movie is the directors and writers and production team telling a story of characters and them going on an adventure.
Yeah.
Right? Usually there's some sort of message in there, but it's not too deep of a message. Not like something like these shorts. Because when I look at shorts, for me at least, I don't know maybe if you felt it, but have you ever felt the Pixar shorts, for them to kind of be more of like stories that resonate with the creator of the short?
Yeah.
Like a personal message of
definitely.
growth for them?
Yeah.
That's what Soul was to me. And that's why I kind of appreciated that it didn't make me cry. Soul's message was, your purpose in life is not to find a purpose, but to live your life and make the most out of every second that you have. That's why the spark came into existence. The spark isn't your purpose in life.
It's not even your talent.
No, it's what makes you ready to live. One, I needed to hear that, especially for what I'm about to go through in this year. But that message was more impactful in a way that, in a better way than something like, let's say, Coco, which reminded me of family and stuff. Like for me, Bao, and I'm so glad you mentioned Bao. Bao is the example of a short that did both make me feel and appreciate the love of family, as well as give me a good message.
Yeah.
I can't watch Bao and not think of my own mother.
Yeah.
I told Andy this constantly, that every time I watch Bao, I want to give my mom a call.
Yeah.
Just like I wish, every time I think of Coco, I wish I can see my dad one more time. But Bao makes me wish and makes me feel like I have to call my mom.
Yeah.
And it makes me appreciate her being around and stuff, So that's what it did. It reminded me of a positive message, and it made me feel, and it's a good example of what a short is, in my opinion. Soul did that. Soul gave me that message, and it made me feel good, not about anything else that connected through it in terms of family or friendship, but about myself.
Yeah.
What is life to you? Right? Also, Soul was an hour and a half.
Was it?
Yes, it was a short movie. It wasn't that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the shorter Pixar movie.
Hour 50 or hour 49.
That's right. I was watching it and I'm just like, okay. Oh, yeah, I was watching it because when they were going to get back to the plane world, I was looking at it. I'm like, we're reaching the 45-minute mark when they try to get back to that hippie dude on Earth and stuff. And they just about to go in front of the club and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so we're reaching the 45-minute mark, so that means we still got another at least 40 minutes left.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what's going to happen then? What's going to go on? So I did remember. Yeah.
What if I told you that you can shorten that movie by taking a lot of the stuff out of it and making it, probably, in my opinion, make it a little bit better? You didn't have to talk about the Forgotten Souls. You didn't have to talk about the building where the souls find their spark.
Yeah.
You can take a lot of the fluff out, and the movie would still be good.
No, the one thing I will critique is the Forgotten Souls part was a little, once they showed that, I was like, okay,
is this going to be relevant
Is this
again?
going to be relevant? And it was like for like a little bit.
Because she's forgotten or something. She lost herself, yeah.
And I'm like, no, you could
Lost souls, not forgotten, yeah.
Lost souls. And I was like, you could put that in, but at the same time, it wasn't necessary.
Not the way they explained it. You could have just said it.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of fluff. And that's what I'm trying to say is that this movie was good. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm not going to go in and yell at people and be like, Soul was stupid. How freaking dare you hurt it. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. But I'm definitely going to say that Soul, my expectations for Soul were like super high and thinking I was ready to watch the next like Toy Story, the next Nemo, the next Coco. I ended up feeling like I watched a Pixar short. Yeah. I came out of it going like, okay.
Like a stretched out Pixar short.
Yeah, I'm like, now when does the movie start?
Yeah.
And not to make it seem like I'm being disrespectful to them because it is a good movie.
And you know what? I didn't really like the ending. I was kind of hoping to see where 22 went. I wanted to see, because the build up, that's the thing. They build her up as like, oh, she's never going to find, her spark, she's not going to have a reason to go to Earth and stuff like that. And when she does, and when that moment when she's falling with Joe and like, boom, she gets accepted to fall into Earth. I was like, cool. Does that mean we get to see where she went, who she found, or who she
maybe ended up being Joe's daughter or something?
Yeah, if there was some sort of connection to have him where Joe gets to see 22 on Earth in some way or another. If maybe like was it Terry's and Jerry's? Jerry's. If Jerry told him basically, oh, this is, and also another thing, we found where 22 went. If you want to go see her, this is where she'll be if you go back to Earth. And just maybe he goes to a hospital and something like that and sees that the baby that she's been born in, you know, that would have been great as well too.
To finish the arc of them two. Yeah.
And just like, and then end it there. Joe looks at her, smiles, and then end it there.
Now, counterpoint on this.
Yeah.
The reason as to why I'm not so much bothered, because I was at first, but the reason as to why I wasn't so much bothered afterwards was because looking back at the message of what Soul was trying to say, I felt satisfied with that. You live your life not to find purpose, but to live a life well lived. That is the purpose of your life, you know? With that message in mind, I felt like it did what it was supposed to do. This Pixar movie played itself in a way to teach me a lesson of what they were trying to say. Bring forth a message of what the production and the writing and the director were trying to bring forth to me. It did its job.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of it, we can say that maybe we could have done this, maybe we could have done that and all this other stuff, but I don't think that was the point of it. You know, if you really want a fleshed out Pixar movie, you got to look at something like Nemo. You get the character development of every single one. Joe Gardner's character development, let's face it, this movie was about Joe Gardner. It wasn't about Soul 22. Soul 22 was just the catalyst to bring forth Joe's development. Joe wasn't a fleshed out, developed character at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
He began development when he was in the cat's body.
Yeah.
And that's how he became a better person. That's how he found himself more. And that's why I was satisfied. I think wanting to know where 22 ended up in could have possibly extended the movie a little bit more than it needed to be. And even though you and I probably wanted it, it probably was just extra icing on the cake that could have made it sour or too sweet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see, but I still wanted it.
No, yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
I wanted it still.
So you loved it.
I liked, yes.
I think it was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we move on to Wonder Woman?
We could, yes, because that's pretty much it. We fleshed out what our thoughts were about
I will
Soul.
say, sorry.
Yeah.
Addition to Soul, some of the best lighting I have ever seen in any animation.
They made New York feel like it was New York.
Yes.
That's the thing. It didn't feel like, oh, this is Pixar's versions of New York.
No.
It actually felt like real New York.
We're talking as Californians here.
Yes.
So we got to be careful.
No, hey, I like New York.
No, but like that scene where 22 is in Joe's body and the seed falls into her hand.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, and the lighting in that scene was just like, oh my God, like this is what we're getting in you know, animation development. Like we're getting this so rich detail of lighting.
Not to mention the saturation on every material, like the skin, the hair,
the woven fibers of the suit.
Everything looked great. I was really looking at it and I'm like, damn, wow. This is where Pixar's at now.
It's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
It's a very beautifully, artistically well done, colorful film.
Yes.
That can't be taken away from them, which is gorgeous.
It's probably going to win a lot of awards.
I hope that it's not because Disney's meddling in there, but we all know that might be the case. Mickey! No!
Quick, sorry. I just thought that in my head right now, and because I have HBO Max, I just got done watching the South Park Pandemic Special.
Oh my God.
Did you watch? You watched that,
yeah,
right?
we watched the day of release.
Oh my God, man. I was laughing so hard. But I was so dumbfounded by Randy as a character.
Have you seen any of South Park?
The ending?
No, like recently in the last like 3 or 4 seasons.
No.
Watch it. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah,
okay.
Just watch it because
I didn't know Randy started a pot company.
Just watch it.
And just how he is now.
Just watch it. That's all I'm going to say because
and the way they brought in Mickey Mouse, I was like, that's how we would do it, honestly. If you and I were like, oh, let's make fun of Disney, that's how we would do it. Yeah, that's how exactly we would do it too. I was like, damn.
It's funny because there's I think a lot of people fell off the wagon by like season 16, which is around the time that they actually did continuity episodes and everything like went strung together.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't remember Soda Sopa, then you have to go as far as back as that.
Damn. Okay, I don't know who that is.
So that would be like season 16 or something like that.
I've seen clips of with was it the PC teacher or PC coach?
Woo woo woo.
Yeah. Hey guys, he's not very PC, all right? I saw clips of that and that was great.
Just watch it.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Speaking of HBO Max, good segue, Rene. I know. Thank you so much. We're gonna get on to Wonder Woman 1984. Brian, I think you should start this one because I started the last one.
Okay, how do I? Oh my god. Okay, I'm probably gonna piss some people off here, and I really don't. I want to be a good person.
No,
God,
I don't think so. No,
God, help
we're
me.
being again, guys. This is Keeping Up with the Nerds. Is just telling you their opinions. They are not statements. They are not the truth. They are just their opinions.
God, help me through this moment, please. All right, so Wonder Woman 1984. Again, disclaimer, I recently watched both these films.
Yes.
So I am coming off with the mindset that, with this mindset. That's all I'm going to say. So,
and I'm going off a mindset of watching the original Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman movie when it got released, and waiting for this movie to come out.
I'm taking the sweater off.
I just want to
taking the
say
coat.
that as well too.
I got to take the coat off here. All right. So, I'm going to start by saying this. The original Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman that came out in like 2018?
Yes.
2017. Please look it up before I put someone out.
I know.
So the first Wonder Woman movie I recently watched about maybe 2 weeks, week and a half ago, and 2017. All I have to say is that it was one of the better done DCEU movies.
Yes.
I don't want to compare it to anyone else because now that I've seen Wonder Woman, I could essentially split up the movies I've seen into 3 groups. You have your Batmans and Supermans.
Yes.
You have your Shazam, and then you have Wonder Woman.
Each I will say this, each DCEU movie that has came out in the past recent years is its own thing.
Yeah.
You can't compare it with any other ones.
No.
Unless it's a sequel of its other one, which we'll be doing for 9.
Actually, we can stuff Aquaman with the Batmans and Supermans.
Yes.
It's an action, then we'll scoot you underneath the rug, and you're good, but whatever.
Jason Momoa down there. Okay.
So, I think my thoughts on the first Wonder Woman movie. I loved Patty Jenkins' vision of what Wonder Woman.
She's a great director, honestly. Hold on, go ahead. I'm gonna pull up, see what else she's done.
So, I feel like the first Wonder Woman movie still had that DCEU flair in terms of special effects.
Yeah.
They weren't good. They were very cheesy. It tried to be super fast paced. It didn't properly give me what I think a superhero movie should be.
She's done Monster with Charlize Theron. She's done a few episodes of Arrested Development.
Oh,
She's done The Killing.
okay.
Great. That's good. I'm really so shocked. So she's done TV stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my favorite sequence in Wonder Woman was the trench scene.
Yes. That's a classic scene, honestly. Yeah.
We said this in the initial discussion before we started recording, was that for me, Wonder Woman did an exceptional job trying to bring Diana Prince from being one of the most extraordinary, invincible women out there in terms of heroines to something more grounded and realistic. The reality of life started to settle in, and her vision of a perfect world, or what humanity could be, slowly started to crumble with what she was seeing in World War II. She now felt like there was a reason to fight for, and she was more grounded when she saw that she needed to be helping these people out. Yeah. Where others were looking the other way because they felt like they couldn't do anything, she felt like she could, and she did. And that trench scene showed that. She became grounded, realistic, and an actual heroine compared to everyone else, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like it is the last 20 minutes.
Okay.
That's it. The fight with Ares was overdone. It looked really, really, and I know all this is fake, but it looked really fake. It looked so stupid. It just...
The ending, right?
The end fight.
Yeah, the end fight, yeah.
It was so bad. Like
that is like the main gripe with Wonder Woman. That is it. I think everyone who loved it, and even people that didn't like it, but also people that loved it, will agree that was a CGI cluster F, honestly.
Yeah, it was just bad. It was bad. Yeah. Like, it was bad.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, though, what I appreciated so much from this movie is that it gave me a Wonder Woman that had internal conflicts that she needed to settle herself. It wasn't the film, like, when I think of it, and I'm not going to try to compare them, but like Man of Steel, right? the enemy wasn't some big hulking badass, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't some dude that was going to break buildings on her and stuff like that. It was trying to learn on herself. And that developed her character all the way through in a way that I didn't think was going to happen. And Patty Jenkins did such an incredible job.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Wonder Woman 1984, that went up an extra level.
Mm-hmm.
Looking into this movie, I was amazed at how well they developed her character into an even better heroine.
Yeah.
I was watching, which one was it? Oh, no, the video you sent me.
The review?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Cosmonaut?
Was it the Cosmonaut?
Cosmonaut Variety Hour. That's a YouTuber I follow on
YouTube.
On YouTube, sorry. I was like, I really had a brain fart. Too much caffeine right now. I like chugged my Monster right now, and because it was really good. And yeah, so he's a comic book nerd like us,
Mm-hmm.
but I love the way he views comic book movies as well too. He's a huge DC fan as well. So the way he talked about Wonder Woman is that he loved the movie.
He thought it was okay.
He thought it was good, but the thing is that it did fall under the whole Warner Brothers kind of DC movie, and he was hoping that wasn't going to happen because this is a Wonder Woman movie.
And then it ended up happening.
Yeah, that's the
now.
thing.
84 wasn't that.
No.
84 actually lasted longer without having that whole DCEU CGI mess.
Yes.
It lasted a lot longer in that sense. Now, was it him that mentioned it? Yeah, I think it was him that when you look at the roster of villains for Wonder Woman, you don't have that many.
She doesn't have that many.
No. But when you look at that, it's kind of tough to just, do something about it, because then who does she end up fighting? Does she end up fighting some other villain that's an nemesis of another hero?
Yeah.
Are you borrowing from that?
No.
Jenkins did something else. I don't think it was Jenkins who wrote it, but it was...
For the first movie?
No, 84.
Oh, 84? Yeah, she wrote it.
Did she write it?
She wrote, she wrote it along with, hold on, let me see who.
Was it Zack Snyder again?
I think it was Deborah and Zack Snyder, both of them. So let me see who wrote 1984.
Might have been Jenkins more than anything.
Yeah.
But she made Diana fight herself in a way.
Yes, that was actually pretty clever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because now you have more growth. It's not just beautiful looking Diana Prince in a Wonder Woman costume.
So the writers were Patty Jenkins, Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns, Dave Callahan.
Uh-huh.
And that's it.
Jeff Johns, the one that
Johns.
wrote the Three
Yeah,
Jokers?
Jeff Johns, yes.
Jeff Johns, Three Jokers, Jeff
Three
Johns.
Jokers, yes.
Three
Jeff
Jokers,
Johns.
Jeff
That's Jeff Johns, okay?
Now I know why I like it.
Hercules, you're
But you like when you're faced up against the wall with not a big roster of villains for her to fight,
Yeah.
you have to get creative, and that was creative.
Yes.
Her growth and having to realize that she can't just give up her powers to have
yeah.
someone else.
Yeah.
To have someone that she lost. It pains her,
Yeah.
but it was necessary because now she ended up growing as a character. She ended up suffering. And that's the thing about these heroes for me. These heroes and heroines.
Yeah.
Heroes that are invincible,
Yeah.
that have almighty powers and stuff. We look at Superman, right? The invincible man, the one that can take a bullet, fly faster than a speeding bullet, take shots to the chest, move a planet. This man who's just the almighty God. If your villain or the kryptonite the kryptonite is his weakness, but if the thing that takes him down is a stone, how do you develop a weakness, internal conflict within him? Comic books do it all the time, but in the movie it's kind of difficult because you're shortened down to about an hour 45, especially if you're trying to tell a full story.
It's hard to develop that within that time frame.
Exactly. Again, I'm going to get people mad for saying this. It happens in the comics. In the comics, you have issue after issue after issue to talk about it. In movies, you're shortened down to that time. So you really have to focus on certain parts.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins didn't do that here. And Jeff Johns. Now that I found out about that. But, her weakness is herself. She has to overcome certain things about herself to be a better person.
I actually think this is the first movie maybe that doesn't have Snyder involved in it whatsoever.
Good.
Now, so you just pissed off a lot of people.
I'm trying not to.
You're trying not to, but yet you're doing it.
I just can I just have my opinion without getting people mad?
No. So, I mean, don't quote me on it. I think it is. So, but go ahead and keep going unless you're done. Are you?
I love what
You
happened.
loved it for
Yes,
what it
I
was.
love
Okay.
for what it was. Now, minor little details.
Yeah.
I felt like Jenkins really took the time in showcasing Wonder Woman aspects that fans would enjoy.
Yes.
We had the reasoning as to why the lasso of truth does what it does, its powers and its origins and stuff like that. Even though it might not be word for word out of the books, there's a purpose for the lasso doing what it does. The armor. One of the greatest things out there, the invisible jet.
Yes.
I
was so happy we finally have an invisible jet for Wonder Woman.
Do you know that when it happened, when she went to the hangar, I told Andy, I'm like, this is before I found out, before the scene. I told Andy, I'm like, what if we get the invisible jet? And she's like, she has an invisible jet?
I know.
Yes, she does.
My girlfriend said the same thing. And it was funny because, I watched it with, I watched Wonder Woman 1984 with me, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's mom. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend's mom loves Wonder Woman from the 1984 Linda Carter, or from the 70s, I mean, Linda Carter series. And so in that, they obviously reference that Wonder Woman has an invisible jet.
Yes. But how do you do that now?
That's the thing. How do you do that now? Because the thing is that the joke of it is that she can already fly. Mm-hmm. Why does she need an invisible jet?
But they do it.
They do it, and they show it in a great way why she needs an invisible jet. So what I loved was that, like you said, they get into the jet, and they're going, and they're flying. Trevor's like, I'm the fastest. I can go anywhere I need to go. And she's like, wait, hold on. I forgot to tell you, radar. And that's true. That's the thing. It doesn't matter how fast they go. They're going to track them through radar and stuff. They're stealing a jet.
Yeah.
So the one thing I loved is that she goes, something that my father taught me is how to make things, not appear as they are. And he goes, well, when did you learn that? And she goes, not that long ago. I tried to do it on a coffee cup. I kind of lost it.
It's a good back and forth.
Yeah, it's a great bantering. Again, it reminds me why I like Chris Pine and Gal Gadot together.
You mean James T. Kirk?
Chris Pine and Gal Gadot as a on-screen couple.
Yeah.
And it's great just to hear their banter.
Yeah, I love Wonder Woman cross Star Trek.
So that's going on. As the movie goes on, you get to see the jet turn invisible, and it was great. And then
it's so good.
The visuals of it when they go through the fireworks, that was actually beautiful.
I know that this is a complaint as well, but the running animations, as bad as they were, I liked it. They wasn't like, if you're going to, sell into the fact that the effects are pretty garbage, do it in a way that's decent.
Yeah.
And I felt like the running animation reminded me of like that 70s Wonder Woman like TV aesthetic.
Yeah.
That it just felt forcefully faked, but it was cool to see again.
Yeah.
And then the other thing for me at least was when she takes flight. I hated that sequence when she takes flight. It felt so
she did the Superman. She did the Superman pose. I was like,
Superman is this. Hers is this.
Oh my God! Really? You're gonna?
Yes, I'm gonna pick it to that point.
You're gonna take it to that point?
Yes.
No, it's a Superman pose.
No.
It's a Superman.
No.
Pose. She flies like this, and Superman does this.
But this is cool.
Wait, how does Superman do it? What's the difference?
Wasn't it this way, and then he goes like this as well?
No, why would he go like this? He goes like this too.
No one's visually
No one
seeing
goes
this.
like this.
No one's visually seeing
I know,
this.
I'm sorry. Okay, so basically we're putting both of our arms out. I have to do it because
hang on. So now I got to figure this out. Because Superman's like this.
Yeah, and then sometimes he will go like this. He doesn't go like this.
Does he really do this?
Yes, because that's more comfortable.
With the wrist underneath
with your
his
wrist
chest?
Underneath your chest with it upside down, not forward onward.
I need a poster. I need a reference.
But look, okay, you know what? Let's look at the Man of Steel poster because that has him flying. So let's hold on.
That's him going up this way.
Really?
I think so. We looking this up?
I'm looking this up right now because this is a big debate.
This is where we split up the group, huh?
No, he's doing it like this. I'm sorry, guys. Look. Okay, hold on.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Look, he's putting his fist out.
That's different.
How is that not?
Because his arms are to his side this way.
Oh my God.
And she's going like this with her wrists.
Under?
It's like this.
But he's not. You said like this.
Okay, well, it's this that she's doing.
You're being technical about it. I'm gonna be technical. How
Okay,
wrong
so
you
but
were.
anyways, it was cool to see. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I saw this on Reddit. Supposedly, like when she's falling down, her hair is facing down towards the earth instead of it going past her face.
That's funny.
So I kind of want to see it again just to see that small little.
I do
detail.
have to watch it again, but that's funny. Oh my god.
Yeah. So
but
going back to that because you still have your own part.
I still have my own part. Yeah.
But I really liked what Jenkins did. It was so creative and so well done.
I will admit that this movie was still relatively good.
No, thank you.
No, it's still relatively good. It's not a terrible movie. It's not a bad movie. That still goes to like BVS.
I will say this.
Part of Justice League.
I've seen people on my social medias constantly defend The Rise of Skywalker, saying that it's one of the best things ever out there, the best Star Wars movies out there. But then they look at Wonder Woman 84 and be like,
not watch movies at all?
Just wait. Let me say this because it frustrates me.
Yeah. No, it's frustrating.
No, wait, 2021. Trying not to frustrate anyone. Trying not to frustrate myself.
It didn't last long.
The same people that keep saying that Rise of Skywalker was good and really loved the kissing sequence between Rey and Ben are the same people that say that 84 make them want to throw up because of how bad it was.
That's terrible. What? No way. No one said that. Not a living person that's breathing on this earth is saying that right now.
I'll prove you wrong.
Oh my god!
I'll prove you wrong.
That's ridiculous.
I'll prove you wrong.
You're gonna have to tell me their name and bleep out their name. I swear.
I'll give you like I'll show you after the show.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but I really loved it. And the end credit scenes.
Yeah.
The end credit
Oh,
scene.
that was great, honestly.
Okay, so I already said
I will
this. I'm
agree
going to
with you
say it
there.
again.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. The fact that like so I didn't like, so I'm late to the show on a lot of the things, so it doesn't hit me until something happens. But when Linda Carter goes like, I've been doing this for a long time, wink, I nutted.
Your fiance's gonna listen to this.
She was there when I freaking screamed.
Yeah.
She was there. Come on.
You know what? She still looked good though too.
She does. Yeah. But forget that. The fact that they did that. I was like,
yeah.
Jenkins.
Oh man.
Why? You're gonna do doing Rogue Squadron and you're gonna do me dirty when that comes out.
Man, nah, you're gonna nut all over that theater if you go to a theater. I'm gonna see it, guys. I'm probably gonna end up going to the theater with you or watch it with you. I'm just gonna be like, oh, yes, X-Wings. Oh. Jenkins. Okay. So that ends on Bryan's thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984. I will give you my quick little thoughts because we are hitting an hour.
That's fine. We got 20
That's
minutes.
fine. We got 20 minutes. It's not going to take long for me because honestly, I will say this. I will state this. I do not hate Wonder Woman 1984. I do have my thoughts on it that what I thought didn't really resonate with me, but I can still watch the movie and still enjoy it though.
Okay.
I will say this. If anything, it's a shorter list of things that I didn't like, but I will say the things I did like because I'll say the things that you didn't mention, but I liked. One in particular was Pedro Pascal.
Oh, why didn't I mention him? Yep. Okay, yeah.
Pedro Pascal played Maxwell Lord very well. It's not completely comic book accurate, but the way they did about it was pretty clever. I like that they made him kind of like a business guy, but he was down on his luck. He's reaching the end of his company and stuff, and he's trying to anything he can to make sure that he's set, and then his son as well too. I loved how they touched on the relationship between him and his son, how he's so distant from him, but he's trying so hard to give him a better life as well too. I loved his the way he did it was very cheesy, but it worked. You know, very not overacting, but above. You know,
he played a very common 80s businessman.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what it makes sense with me, and that's why I was like, okay, cool, that's awesome. And I loved, I loved how they resolved that, his character, and like the way at the end of the movie that he tries to go back to his son, and when he reaches his son, and his son, that those moments where he's telling his son, you know, that he's admitting that he's not a good guy, he's actually a terrible person, but he's willing to learn from that, and he doesn't want his son to do the same and stuff. And like I was like, I was tearing up so bad. I was trying hard not to cry throughout that whole thing. And again, Pedro Pascal playing a dad very well. You know, same thing with Mandalorian, as we talked about, that he plays a great space dad. Another thing I liked was I did like how they took about, because that was the one thing that they had to really flesh out, was how Stephen Trevor's character came back, because obviously he died in the first one, and I'm like, if you're bringing him back, then that kind of takes away what Diana learned in the first movie, essentially, of how precious humanity and life is, and how she can grow from that.
Can you say that she learned that at the end of the first one? Because I don't think that's what she learned in the end of the first one. She learned about humanity, like humanity in general, like how they act and who they are, not about how precious a single human being could be for someone.
I think she also learned how great a sacrifice can be if you need to do a sacrifice.
Strengthened in this one.
Yeah.
Strengthened in this one. Yeah.
And obviously, you know, in this movie, she's still not over Steven's sacrifice as well too, and stuff. And I did like how they touched onto that. It was from the wishing stone that she just kind of like touched it and just thought about a wish. She didn't make a wish, but she did thought about what she wanted. And they basically said that, okay, he's in someone else's body, which was a little weird at first how they did it. You know, at first she runs into she walks past some random guy, and that says, you know, a quote that Chris Pine said in the first movie, and then they kind of did like a weird transition of like, we're looking at the guy, but then we see Chris Pine become him, but he's not really him. We're just seeing what Diana sees. So that's another great. So that's one thing I kind of felt weird. It wasn't explained. It was
weird. And I will agree with you there.
Yeah.
I will definitely agree with you there, because you could have fleshed it out more.
Yeah. What I wanted, and so then I think I told you earlier as well, is that what I would have liked was that they kind of dwell into that a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit, that knowing that, you know, to show that Diana's wish, that whole be careful what you wish for, that even though she did she has Steven here, but the thing is that the body that he's using is still relative to other people in the guy's life and stuff like that. So if he would have seen, like, if he had a girlfriend of his own and stuff, or a love interest of his own, and that conflicted with, you know, everything, that would have been cool. That would have been interesting, you know. But I guess they kind of, Patty Jenkins or Jeff Johns wanted to just kind of focus on later on that, you know, oh yeah, it's gonna the whole, because whenever someone makes a wish, there's always a price to pay, and hers is losing her powers. I would have liked it if that basically, like, she got Trevor, but not to herself, not in the way that she wanted Trevor back, but this is the way that the stone got Trevor, was that, you know, even though she sees him, that's not Trevor. People don't see him as Trevor.
You could have gone multiple ways,
yeah,
in that sense, but then it goes the same way about, you know, with other wishes in there. Consider this, when Max goes to the president and says, like, what do you wish for with everything going out in the world and in the borders of your country and within your country? What do you wish for the most that could end this? Isn't it obvious, if you had any form of mental intelligence in your head, to just wish for all of this to go away and for peace to be brought about the world? Wouldn't you wish that?
Yeah.
What did he wish for?
He wished for more nukes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could argue that there's many different avenues to handle these story points, but they're doing these things for a reason. I think that there was a reason to bring back Steven the way they did, and only used a body of someone who didn't have another life. It's a little weird for me, which is why I agree with you, that he was then brought back in the end to just kind of like settle it and be like, this is an actual human being.
Yeah.
By having him talk to Diana and be a human being,
Yeah.
a normal person, right? But in terms of like having it mean more than that, there's probably a reason as to why the president wished for more nukes. These are people in power who assume that the only way to solve problems in the world is through more violence. You know, we think of it as saying you could easily end all this by wishing it for it all to go away.
But that's the thing that like not a lot of people think like us.
No,
They wouldn't think that off the top of their head.
yeah, and it's just to make the story more interesting, probably to just progress it.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Other things that I did enjoy was also I did like how Pedro Pascal, when he got the stone, you thought he was gonna make one wish, but no, he went a smarter route and basically is like become the wishing stone, and then also, in order to kind of balance that out, he would take something from someone as a price to make that wish happen. Which I liked. I did like that aspect because I didn't expect that to happen, honestly. I thought it was basically like you just make your one wish and that's it, you know, you go. But he was going to just basically be it or become all powerful or something like that. But no, he was like, oh no, I'm going to become the wishing stone. And I was like, oh, okay, let's see where this goes and stuff. So that was clever. I did like that, you know. I did like the action was great. I loved that fight. What was it? In what country were they in when she was taking on like that military?
It starts with a C.
What?
Cario?
Cario?
No.
I don't know. But it was,
It's in Egypt somewhere.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it was good. I like that. I like that a lot. It was really cool. Very colorful and very, I don't know. It kept me
Kept you going. It was another trench fight, but not to the extent of what the trench fight did.
No, but I did like that. That's the thing. I was looking back at this movie, and I like the action more in the first one than I do in this one because this one doesn't have a lot of memorable moments in action wise.
I beg to differ, and it goes back to what was the YouTube channel you mentioned again?
Cosmonaut.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
We'll tag him in the description. Cosmonaut. Remind me, please.
Okay.
He mentioned something in his Wonder Woman review where he said that this felt like a comic book movie. Like it felt like he was watching an actual comic book. That's why I probably appreciate 84 as much as I do. Because if I take it as a comic book movie, it did everything the way it was supposed to. You read a comic book and sometimes there's just quirky little fights and quirky little objectives and stuff here and there added on just to make it interesting, right? We're not talking about like to the extent of what the Three Jokers did in terms of like, you know, having all the dialogue and all the details lead up to something big. In terms of just making it a normal comic book, you know, a comic book run, you'll have your little moments of filler and stuff like that. And 84 did that. Was the mall fight necessary? No.
But it was fun to watch.
It was great.
It was
Plus,
very
you got the cool looking, freshly painted Wonder Woman costume in its original colors.
That was honestly really good to look at. I was like, dang, that costume's bright.
That costume was gorgeous. That costume was like, that is what I wanted to see from the first one.
Not to mention, also, what I liked a lot was the opening sequence. It was in Thesmia, where it was Diana as a kid taking on that whole that obstacle course. That was really fun to watch. The choreography on that.
The
was
actress,
great.
the little actress that played her.
Oh yeah, she did everything. Didn't she?
She
did all of her own stunts. Yeah.
For her being like, I think maybe 10 or a little bit older than that.
Yeah.
My God, she's talented.
And I loved the beginning of that and the lesson that they tried to teach Diana in the beginning of the movie, which I thought was going to be more into in this film. But I really like that whole idea of like, because when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is cool. All right, the choreography's great. And I did love how young Diana went down that little slide and basically forgot to miss a target. And I was like, oh crap, but that's going to show that, you know, obviously she didn't hit it. So there's going to be a lesson there and stuff. And I love that. What was it? It was, that was her trainer, or was that her aunt? Was that her aunt?
It was her aunt.
It was her aunt telling her, you know, showing her that like, no, you have to be honest.
You can't cheat your way through life.
Yeah. You know, you got to be honest with yourself, truthful and stuff. That's what makes you a great hero and warrior, you know? And I was like, oh man, this is cool. I love that.
It was a good thing. Yeah. I always admire when a director, my final thoughts on this to wrap this up. And then we'll talk about, you know, maybe did we change our minds a little bit here and there, appreciate the films a little bit more. I look at it as Jenkins having fun with Wonder Woman. And I feel like we miss that in a lot of movies. You know, it always feels like the more movies come out, the more these directors are trying to make something fun, extravagant, and sexy. They wanted Michael Bay, or they want to James Cameron it, or something. Yeah,
make it just like a big spectacle of something. Visually make it, you know, each superhero or comic book film or blockbuster movie has to have an epic sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I see what you mean.
It's supposed to be an epic. Now, when I look at the directors that have fun with their movies and try to spread, you know, their love for it, I'm going to bring this up. Jon Favreau with The Mandalorian. He's not making The Mandalorian. Of course, yes, the money's big and whatnot. Yeah, but
he's not making it a big, world-changing thing.
Lightsaber fights with explosions.
That's going to alter the canon of the franchise and stuff like that. That's supposed to basically be, secrets revealed, stuff is revealed, and then, no, he did it where he did do all that, but on a scale where it doesn't feel, it feels genuine. That's
how many times do we see on our social medias people who don't talk like we do? Yeah. You know, say this is a franchise that was done by someone that really loves Star Wars the way we love Star Wars as kids. We see that a lot, right? Yeah. Jenkins deserves that same respect because of what she's done with these Wonder Woman movies, especially with 84. Yeah. As much as you want to say that there could have been things here and there that needed to be fixed, you can tell that Jenkins approached Wonder Woman 84 with a love that is beautiful and wanted to make sure that our generation and the next generation has their own Wonder Woman. Our parents' generation, you know, and we mentioned this in the initial talk. My dad, you know, Wonder Woman was Linda Carter. And when he spoke about her, confident, strong, beautiful, the perfect image of, you know, a confident, strong woman was Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot, tell me this, did Zack Snyder make Gal Gadot a Wonder Woman?
No, he kind of just like brought her in because of the name Wonder Woman.
But Patty Jenkins
made Wonder Woman she is,
and now I can't look at Gal Gadot and not think this is our Wonder Woman. This is who we're going to talk about when we have kids. Who was your Wonder Woman, Dad? Oh, let me tell you about Gal Gadot. Beautiful, confident, you know, strong. She wasn't buff and huge and stuff. She was just, like you said, athletic. She's the image of what Wonder Woman would be now. And she did that. And she really had fun making 84 by bringing all these little things about Wonder Woman in her history in the comics and in the TV shows and in anything that they brought her in. Her costume design was better, more colorful, more bright, more aesthetically pleasing, like we see her in all these other posters with bright reds and bright blues and stuff. The only thing was missing was like the stars, but that kind of slowly went away, you know, throughout the years. The lasso was used a lot more, which is something that she uses a lot.
It was used a lot more as of like, you know, like something that's part of her attire, but not used in the way that I thought, you know, as the lasso of truth.
But now in this one it did.
Yeah. But I was hoping they would insinuate that more, like she does use it, but in the part of the plot that she needed it, she didn't really need to use the truth part. Just the lasso.
The invisible jet.
Invisible jet, yeah.
The invisible jet. Also, the mall sequence, as much as people want to say that it probably wasn't that good, the mall sequence was fine.
That was fun to watch, honestly. That was part of the things I liked. If anything, I was underwhelmed of how Wonder Woman took down Cheetah. I was expecting more of like a emotional ending to that,
more of a finisher than a simple fight.
Just a simple fight because of the the emotional connection between the two characters. Having Kristen Wiig constantly being reminded or admired Diana of how great of a character she is, and then just to have her kind of like become Cheetah, but then just kind of go out of like, oh no, she's just gonna get shocked in the water, and they're just gonna move on from there.
And
I think Cheetah deserved a better ending for that.
I think they might bring her back,
which I hope they do.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not gonna totally bag on it, because I hope they bring her back in the next movie. Maybe if anything, the wish makes her. But the thing is that in 1984, if the next movie takes place in modern times, then hopefully they explain why she hasn't aged or anything like that. They touch onto that or something. I don't know.
They will.
Yeah.
Last bit. With the mall sequence, I just liked the whole fighting sequence. It was fun. It was good. It reminded me of like a classic film fight or TV fight. She even winks at the camera. I know she's winking at the kid, but it's like it's a cute little like thing. Last bit though, people bag on Kristen Wiig because they can't get away from the fact that she did comedy. This movie showed Kristen Wiig's field of or range of acting.
Yeah,
she was phenomenal here. I did not think of her. I mean, I joked and said like, oh, it's SNL, like it's her being SNL, but no, she had fantastic lines, fantastic acting. She just did a really good job. I felt like she sold me on her character well enough. She looks good too. She does. She isn't a Gal Gadot, but she's fantastic.
Yeah, she got into shape for this one.
Yeah, and she played her parts very well in trying to be like Gal Gadot's Diana Prince's Wonder Woman. I felt like it sold. Like, wow, you are trying to be the person you look up to, and you essentially are with what you wished for, which is great.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on Wonder Woman?
So I think overall you did make me realize that I did enjoy it a little bit more than I thought. There are still things that I think could be better, but overall it's not the worst DCEU movie.
No.
That still goes to BBS. And
what'd you say? Is he back?
Is he back? He's back.
Crap. You got to be quieter.
I tried to go as quiet as I thought, but I ASMR now. Anyways, but I still enjoy Soul more because it took me by surprise how much I liked it.
Yes.
Wonder Woman, again, I was expecting to be shocked by it, but things happened in the way that I thought they were going to happen, and nothing took me by surprise.
Okay.
But I still enjoyed it. That's what I mean.
I think I'm in the same boat with you. Yeah. I appreciated Soul a little bit more now that we've talked about it and I say where it came from, but I still see it as a short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I see what you mean by that.
Yeah. Wow, we didn't fight.
No.
Thought we were gonna argue a little bit more.
No, I don't think so.
I think we opened up our eyes a little bit more.
Yeah.
With that said, what a good episode, or what a good issue.
Good issue to start off the year.
Yeah. Just arguing, not arguing,
saying
just
our
talking,
opinions,
discussing these sorts of things. And we've got a third audience member out here in the back, locked in the door, hopefully never coming back. But
we'll see next issue.
With that said, we're gonna wrap it up here at Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. Yes, it's great to be back. We miss this a lot. And like we said before, reach out to us on our socials, Twitter and Instagram at Keeping Up with the Nerds. Just look that up. Their handles are a little bit different. But yeah, just look us up, Keeping Up with the Nerds, and hit us up on our socials on Instagram and Twitter, and let us know what you guys think of these issues and what you guys want to see. We'll talk to you guys, and we'll shout you out too if you guys want to. Also, if you are listening to this on our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and Google Podcasts, we also have a YouTube channel that you guys can subscribe to. Please click the link in the description. Head on over there. We'll be posting some other stuff there as well. This year, we're going to be having a lot of things planned. We know that we can handle the workload, so we're going to be doing those things. Just give us time to get our time to get it going, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, jump on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, or Google Podcasts, whatever your audio platform of choice.
Yes. And
follow us there. We appreciate you guys' listening and everything like that, and we'll keep you posted on what we have planned in future issues.
Yes.
With that said, are we ready to close? Oh, sorry.
I think the one thing we're going to talk about, we will talk about Cobra Kai, but the thing is that it just came out. We should let people watch it first, have the time to watch it. I think we might talk about it next week.
Yeah, because by next week, it should have been 2 weeks out already.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys have about 2.5 weeks or so to watch Cobra Kai, and then we'll talk about Cobra Kai.
We'll talk about Cobra Kai, yes.
Do you watch Sabrina at all?
I stopped watching it.
Okay, so we won't talk about it.
After season 2, because I watched the first episode of season 3 and was very disappointed of how they wrote Sabrina as a character moving forward.
We'll talk outside of the podcast because I do have my own things. But Cobra Kai next week.
Yes.
And any
Cobra
other
Kai.
pieces of news that might come out.
Yes.
All right. Are we ready to close this out?
Let's do it.
Oh, this is going to be me. So let's do this.
Thank you, citizens, for listening to this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. I'm your host, Bryan.
Rene.
Coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California. Recording at Undercity Comics. We thank you, citizens, once again, and hope to see you all next time.